Hello and welcome. There's a 1 by 5th chance that the garment you're wearing is held together by thread made by the CEO of the company that I'm about to speak to. Joining me is Paul Forman, Group CEO of Coats PLC out of the UK. Paul, thank you very much for speaking with us. So is that correct? 1 in 5 of all garments in the world are held by thread made by you?
Absolutely. Coats has a wonderful selection of statistics, and that's just one of them, correct, yeah.
Right. And tea bags too?
Tea bags, yes. Every 10 minutes, 1 million tea bags are held together with our thread. So we both clothe and really satisfy the thirst of that entire world.
Right. So are you in some ways in a recession-proof industry then?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we are. One of the kind of really true things about the world is that people buy more clothes year after year after year. So, yeah, we're fortunate to have a stable base, yes.
Right. So, how is the garment and textile industry broadly looking today? I mean, if you sort of were to sit in London and cast your eye, you know, India, China, North America, what's happening?
North America's doing quite well now.
Right.
It's the last 3 to 6 months we've seen some good forward movement. Unfortunately, the Eurozone is still pretty much mired, but it's not declining anymore.
It's out of recession.
I'd say it's stabilized,
right.
Yes. It's going to be a long, slow haul back, but it's going okay. And then, obviously, the big opportunity for us is the 5 million people in Asia, whether it be China, India, or anywhere else. And there we do see good growth.
Right. So what are the other trends that you're seeing in the way your products are being used across the world?
Well, if you take Asia in specific, we very much focus on the upper end of the marketplace. And what we're seeing is that both in India, China, and in other parts, there's a growing middle class.
Right.
And so the demand for our products, the applications of our products in apparel and footwear is really growing quite significantly.
Right.
The other part of our business is what we call specialty, and that will be thread that goes into tea bags, as we've talked about, cricket balls, car seats, etc. And what we're really seeing there again is as the disposable income available to people in Asia is growing and growing, so those markets are really beginning to take off.
Right. So the cricket ball is very interesting, and obviously interesting to anyone who's watching this in India.
Absolutely, yes.
And I'm sure the UK as well.
Indeed. Well, because I'm a guest of yours, I won't refer to any
recent matches.
Any recent matches at all. But yes, all of Kookaburra balls, for instance, are held together with our thread.
Right. How's things been in India? I mean, you've obviously been in India for many, many decades now, and have had a stable presence as well through your subsidiary, Madura Coats. Tell us about what you're seeing here in India specifically, and maybe against other markets like China.
We are seeing good growth in the domestic segment. We've also seen in the last 2 or 3 months some growth in the export business as well. Clearly, there is a constant battle between many countries in Asia for the right to supply Western Europe and America. And probably due to things like the recent currency devaluation, we're actually seeing India probably taking a bit of market share on a global basis from other suppliers.
Right. So do you envisage stepping up production capacity in India, or are you looking at investing more in India?
India is our biggest market, so we sell more in Madura Coats than any other country, including China. So we consistently continue to invest in India, and we see it as huge potential, particularly satisfying that domestic market I was talking about for clothing, but also all of the other products that I mentioned are specialty products. Right.
Are there any broader shifts that you're seeing in the way the manufacturing and production of cloth, textile and garments is moving currently in the world or on the globe?
Well, over the last 20 years, Govind, the big game was moving production out of the West and into the East.
Right.
That game, to a degree, has really run its course.
Right.
And some 50% or so of clothes are made in China still. So what you're really seeing now is a different emphasis. Really, I think competition is now on the basis of time. So you get people like Inditex who now have many, many fashion cycles a year as opposed to 2. But also what we're finding is a lot of our customers, the contractors, have got huge pressure from cost inflation, specifically labour and energy. And so one of our jobs as a very major supplier to the segment is to work with people to actually help them address those twin challenges of inflation and time-based competition.
Right. A broader question again along the same lines. Do you see the production staying on at the same levels in countries like China and India? I mean, production of garments maybe, which was classically feeding, let's say, Europe or North America?
Absolutely, absolutely. Bear in mind this point that I made, that every year people across the world will be buying more clothes.
Right.
So the demand is going to increase.
Right.
There are not many other countries that one could source, because essentially virtually all of Asia already is to varying degrees supplying this demand. And you'll obviously have the growth in the domestic demand.
And you don't see capacity moving back to some countries, I mean, mostly North America, like it's happening in a few sectors?
No, I really don't. It makes great headlines, but the actual economics of something like that, you'd have to look at a couple of $100 per garment to probably justify it.
Right.
What you do see is a balance of far sourcing, i.e. from Asia, and then near sourcing. So for America, Mexico, Central America, etc. Those are places that the modification in demand is picked up. But no, I think Asia is here to be the factory of the world for apparel and footwear for decades.
Right. Last question. So how's the outlook for the year ahead to you, both globally as well as in markets like India?
Good, good. Not stellar, but we are very comfortable with the business we have in India. As you said, we've been here for decades, in fact centuries, so we're pretty comfortable with it as both a market and as a base. So yeah, we're quietly bullish about prospects.
And would that apply globally as well?
Yes. Yes, we aspire to about 5% growth per annum, and we're confident we'll deal with about that level.
Right. Paul Forman, thank you so much for speaking with us.
Great pleasure.
Thank you.